I want before we go on, I want to show the new trailer that you have because obviously the first one had literally the Air Force Ones by Nelly and the St. Lunatics, and
Yes.
we couldn't use that one, copyright.
You're right.
But
Right. Same
Grab me
here's
by
the-
my soul, that's for sure. I'm telling you.
So here's the newest version with its own music, and here we go.
They were never meant to fly. Now they'll tear down the sky. Rising from the ashes of a failed piece, I look into a broken mirror and still see me. Is this a nightmare or a broken dream? I step inside and take control of my destiny. A vessel made for righteous wrath, reigniting fires of a war-torn past. I'd sacrifice all that I have if fate could save me from this path. They were never meant to fly.
Okay, I want the song. Okay,
Yeah.
I want that song. I want it.
Man.
I want it on repeat because it makes you just want to just go out and just do some stuff. See, that's what I'm talking about, sir. This
It is
Thank
giving
you.
it gives your typical anime feel.
Man, I ain't gonna lie. So again, I love my wife, and she loves me obviously because she haven't killed me yet. Because like you said, I've been playing that thing nonstop. My ADHD been ADHDing. I can listen to that thing 12 times in a row and not be phased at all. I'm just into it. So
Yo, if y'all know about if y'all know about the ADHD out there, you know, you truly understand when you are transfixed on something, you listen to the same thing or watch the same
Right.
thing for hours.
Right. Yeah, man. So it's
That's
again,
what
man,
it's
it's just been it's been very, very dope. I love the song. The song is actually it's actually not just for that opening either. It's the full length song. There's a full length version that I will be releasing in parts because again, I want to put some more trailer materials together, some other stuff together. And as we go start producing volume 2, that's going to be a thing. I am going to end up releasing the entire song. You know what I mean? I feel like we're going to take it to streaming platforms and the whole deal, like do a full release for it. Is why I love it that much. And so it don't matter if it's gonna have a million of streams, if for no other reason than I've streamed it a million times. You know what I mean? So um, you know, again, man, I think that there are a lot of properties and a lot of things that we see in again in our community and in the wider comic community in general. And I'm not setting out to prove that you don't need $1 million to do something beneficial or do something great or do something of high quality, but I am doing it right. Like my goal is to complete this project. My goal is to do the next thing and invest and show that there is kind of a path. And you don't have to, I don't need to fleece everybody for a bunch of money to do a small thing, right? Like I invest in myself. I make sure, again, even when you see the animation, that animation is top quality animation. The song is top
Beautiful.
quality songs. You don't have to skimp just because you don't have a pocket full of money. You just have to take the time and plan it out and do it right. And I realize that, like life, comics, and all this other stuff, we get judged by the worst of us and not by the best of us. The best of us
Oh
is
god,
the
yeah.
exception. Oh my God, it's how you're amazing because you did that. Not everybody can do that. But the worst of us, yeah, that's how all of you guys are. So the same thing goes for comics. If you see a bad black indie comic, then somebody goes, see, that's what indie comics are. That's what black indie comics are. Nah, everything you'll see out of Wingless is 100% the best quality that we can do at the time, and we're just gonna keep leveling up. And we started at a quality that's at least on par with the big two, and we're just gonna get better. And I
Yes.
mean that for every project that we do.
What I've seen, and like I said, Malachi Bailey's been on the show before a couple times, and talking about her. And when you see the level of her, and then you see Immortals, and then you see Justice, and now you have Fades that you're working on. Let's talk about those projects too. Like
Yeah.
these are things, and we've said it here on the platform. Like we love our black indie creators because they are giving us stories that we can't get anywhere else. They're giving us characters that aren't just weather based or electricity based powers. Like in most cases, origin stories better.
Mm-hmm.
Story arcs are much better. Like they're just it's not the same repetitive thing over and over and over. And you don't have the whole, we're going to do a 7-story arc and then we're going to start over with a new writer and put somebody else in, and you scrap everything from before. You guys, and I mean Black indie creatives, have given us something that goes on, and it just gets better and better, and we get more, and it's like, and we're starving for it. We're like, yes, I need more of that. And the fact that you haven't gone like commercial in the sense of it becomes watered down is a godsend.
You know, a really good friend of mine, and I consider him a mentor as well, and a peer and a business partner, Jason Reeves, man, really schooled me on some stuff when I first got into the game, right? And look, I'm over Jason's house once or twice, you know, a month or whatever. Like that's my people. And when I first got in, I wanted to do this. It's like you said, I want to do a 6-issue arc that does this and that and all this other stuff, right? And he was like, "Why? Why would you make people wait that long? You know, an indie comic does one, maybe two a year, right? That's just the cycle, and it happens until you catch fire." So he was like, "Get your story right, do it in 4 issues, because then you get to tell the next story." And that is probably the biggest hurdle for indie comics, being able to tell the next story, right? Like you
Yes.
have to continue to invest and continue to invest. But it's not a bad thing. It's actually something that helps stories matriculate. As opposed to, and don't get me wrong, I grew up on Marvel, DC, Image. I still have affinity for those comics. I don't
Right.
necessarily collect the way I used to,
Mhm.
but
I
but
can't
it's
say
just
that.
it's different. Right.
My
You
corner is
know.
taller than me now, so yeah, I can't say that.
Right. So it's hard. So I do like some of the new stuff they're coming out with. I won't deny that, right? Like the new Wonder Woman and Batman series. I like some of their shorter stuff that
Absolutely.
they're
Yeah.
starting to do, the absolute stuff, and some of the shorter things that they're doing, because again, you get bogged down by hundreds of years of continuity that folds back on itself. And I think
Mhm.
that
That
bogs down
that
American comics, right? Whereas necessarily manga, even if it'll have hundreds of issues, it's not bogged down by the continuity issues.
Right.
And I think that that's something that helps it sell in this market a little bit differently than a superhero comic. Also, manga, you mentioned fades. Manga allows you to tell a more diverse group of stories than is traditionally welcomed in American comics. Now, American comics does do all of it, but people don't associate American comics with all these different genres of things.
right.
Whereas they do that for manga. And so with something like Fades, and like you said, telling stories that we don't normally get to see, Fades is a project like that. Fades is an anime, sorry, not an anime. Fades is a manga I'm developing based around a barbershop. And it's going to be a slice of life uh barbershop manga, right? Where
See,
you get to see our culturally again, eh, a barbershop is sacred to us, right? A barbershop is holy ground. You can have two crews beefing, you can have all this other shit going on, right? They step in a barbershop, everything, knock it off,
It's
right?
neutral
For the
ground.
moment.
Yes, neutral
Right.
territory.
And right. And so those kinds of things are important, right? And the social aspects of a barbershop, unless you've been into a barbershop, you don't understand it, right? But the moment you get in one, you understand it. And again, we don't get those kind of stories. We have the movie barbershop, right? We have the movie beauty shop, but we've never had a comic or a manga do that. Whereas Food Wars could do it, and they could just be talking about food, right? So,
makes you hungry
um,
too.
Stop it.
right. So,
Stop it.
so I wanted to do that same kind of thing with, again, something that's culturally relevant for us. And for me, that's a barbershop. For me, that's, getting in there and seeing somebody want to be the best barber, because their father was, and however that story matures. I think all those things are incredibly important. Also, I learned from Jason Reeves, controlling the means of production, right?
Mm.
Uh, Money is good, and I will never say money is not good. We could always use more money to do more
There's
productions,
it.
right? But
True.
all money ain't good money.
That
So
part.
That
if
part.
I want to continue my voice and I want to keep the means of production and I want to do what I want to do, then there are certain things that I can't take. There are certain deals that I can't really get into. I've had a number of offers, quote unquote, for IP licensing and on and on and on. And while they might look good on the surface, somebody's like, "Oh yeah, I'll give you 100K for justice." Okay, over what kind of a time period, over what are the constraints, what kind of creation can I do after I give you this IP licensing deal, right? And again, 100K for a year is nice, it's okay. But if you're talking about 100K over 10 years, that means nothing to me, right? Like, so it's all these little things that go into what we control and how we should be taking over and controlling the narratives of who we are socially, which we don't necessarily get to do.
Right.
Other people get to control who they are socially. If we're talking about manga, talking about anime, if I put on a samurai helmet right now, everybody knows that's Japanese, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm doing something that's culturally relevant to Japanese people and blah, 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 whatever it might be. If someone goes out there and raps, or somebody goes out and does K-pop Demon Hunters, a movie which I love, let me put it out there. I thought it was dope. I love the music. I think it's great.
Right.
But the fact of the matter is K-pop itself, not the movie, but K-pop, the genre itself, is just R&B, right? And R&B doesn't get that props for that.
No.
It's not, when they do K-pop and they do K-pop Demon Hunters, it's not like, oh, they're doing a black thing and it culturally goes back to, oh man, let's give some props to black people because they invented this, right? And it's culturally relevant to them and it's part of their cultural identity. It's not that. It's, well, K-pop is different. No, it's not. It's not. It's just done by different people, right? And so I think that that's a part that I try to infuse in my stories, and I try to infuse in everything that we're doing, and how we control our narratives and how we produce the stories that we produce. I think that's incredibly important.
Yeah, I think so too. Voice of Saw says indie comics are better than mainstream comics nowadays. What we see in the main books are a regurgitated mess. We at Wingless don't produce no mess. That's Mal. Hey,
Right.